Hello, everyone. This is Femi Akojenu, CEO of Live Zone Television. I want to say a big thank you to the organizers of this special Christian Film Festival. This is so much needed, and I want to say a big thank you for everyone who's involved in putting this together and all your hard work. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And also for all the filmmakers, thank you for the great work you are doing in the body of Christ. Through you, many souls will come to Christ. Through you, the Christian value system is going to spread around the world and lives will be impacted for good. What I want to do is to address the issue of digital broadcast and distribution for Christian filmmakers. And of course, there's a lot to say about it. And I don't have the time to say everything that can possibly be said. I'll share some things and hopefully it will steer you in the right direction. Let me say that for me personally, when I started Live Zone TV over 12 years now, I remember, many, many years ago in the early days of Live Zone TV, we got to partner with Parables TV at that time. So Parables TV had all those movies, and then they partnered with 8 different TV stations. Daystar was one, and We Are one, and then 6 other TV stations. And what they would do at that time is to send us some movies for us to be able to watch. I mean, to air rather, so that people can watch on Live Zone TV. So it was great, really being a part of that and just being able to help distribute TV content or films rather to TV viewers. So it was awesome. Now, what I want to do is to, again, give us some pointers, help us to understand a little bit more about distribution. So if you're going to get your film distributed, if you're looking for distribution for your film, the first thing I want to say to you is that you identify the audience. Identify the audience. You want to start where the customers are. Where are the customers? So you need to know this type of film that I'm producing, who are the right people to watch this? Who is this going to reach? Obviously, some films may cater to parents, for example. Some films may cater to young people, right? So you really need to identify the audience. Because as you identify the audience, it helps you to also know what kind of digital platform will be the best for this audience. For example, some things for the Gen Z, the TikToks of today will be the right platform, for them to get to know about it. Some of your film may be distributed through social media if your target audience is, the social media audience. Right? So it's very important that you identify the audience. Don't just say, I'm looking for distribution before you even get to that place. Yes, I know you're looking for distribution, but the question is, who is your audience? And who are you trying to reach? Who are you trying to reach? Who do you want to, get to watch, your content? Very, very important. Then another point I want to make early on is that you also need to find distribution as early as possible, right? Sometimes some funders, especially for those of you who are looking for some funding for your videos and your films, some funders don't want to get involved unless there is a distribution. Isn't that something? So they don't want to get involved, with funding your videos and your content and all that, unless there's distribution. So you don't want to wait till the end. I think this is a mistake some people make. Like they spend time focusing on production, and then it's after it's all done that they're looking for distribution. And especially if you're looking for funders to help, they're wondering, okay, where's the distribution? So basically, as you're producing, you also need to be looking for distribution at the same time. All right, so this is important. The third thing I want to share with you is that you need to have a great story. You need to have a great story. Because you see, if you don't have a great story, it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you don't have a great story, it still won't work. So when you're looking for distribution, you want to make sure that the story is right, because if the story is not right, more than likely you're not going to find that distribution that you're looking for. So make sure that you're really paying attention to your story. Is this the right story? Is this a great story? Have we done whatever we need to do to make sure that we have come up with the right story, right? And a great story. Not just a right story, but a great story. Very important. As you're looking to distribute your films, it's extremely important that you have a right story or a great story. All right, the fourth thing I want to share with you as you're embarking on this journey of distribution is that you also want to think about how to repurpose your content down the road. So you're not just thinking of now, you're thinking of, okay, this film that I'm creating right now, do I want to at some point maybe turn this to some episodes, or some sort of episodic type of deal, right? Or do I want to produce a series out of this? Now, so if you think about a potential repurposing of your content, it can help you even in the way you produce it right now. So sometimes when you're done, maybe showing it in the theaters, then a year later, 2 years later, you want to turn it into episodes, or you want to turn it into series. So begin to think about that kind of a thing. Some people call this transmedia storytelling. Transmedia storytelling, because it's not just one media platform, it's not just one way of doing it, it's just a various ways of telling the story, going from one platform to the other, right? So it's extremely important that you begin to think of how to repurpose your content. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not saying that every single content can be done this way or can be repurposed, but think about it. Is it possible that your film right now can eventually turn into a series, right? So very important things to think about. All right, another point I want to make is that, number 5, that it's important that you begin to build the right relationships. It's important that you build relationships. So don't just spend your time producing and all that alone, but also begin to network with people. Begin to know the people that matter, right? It's important to know somebody, right? And or sometimes somebody who knows somebody, right? So the person may know somebody, right? So how do you get to that place? Well, start building the relationship. There's NRB, right? National Religious Broadcasters Convention. Biggest communication conference, so to speak, for Christian people, right? You want to go to places like that. Of course, it's great that you are part of this film festival. Begin to network, begin to know people, right? Know where the industry people are, right? So if you're going to get, distribution, it's not always so easy. So you want to begin to know, where are the industry people, right? Who are they? Build relationships with them, so that eventually, as you're ready, you're able to say, hey, I have this new film out, check it out. So you are not just submitting it on a website. Many times, you go to a website and they say, submit your film here, and thousands of films have been submitted that way. Sometimes it's like, okay, is anybody even checking it out? So you don't want to rely on that. You want to begin to build the kind of relationship that will allow you to be able to really cut through the chase and just go straight to those people that are in charge of these things. So you kind of want to learn the ecosystem. I love how somebody puts it. Learn the ecosystem, right? Very, very important. Now, another thing I want to say is this, that you also want to begin to build your reputation, right? Begin to build your reputation. And what do I mean by that? Start to even if it's just, small films or little films that you're putting out, a little web series that you're putting out on YouTube and stuff, you're getting it out there, and people are beginning to see like, wow, you create some good content. You're creating something good. And out of that, somebody may show interest, like, wow, I love what you're doing. And if you can do what you're doing right now with such a low budget, maybe $10,000, I can imagine like what you do with $100,000. Right, so you're getting the word out there. You are building that reputation. People are beginning to know your work and how good you are, and the kind of stories you tell, and all that stuff. So that is important. So I wanted to start out sharing this nugget with us. I think these are very important points as we are navigating through the distribution and the broadcast. Now, obviously, there are some TV stations. So let's shift gears now. Now, there are some Christian TV stations out there who are willing and have the budget to buy content, right? I've met some of them, TBN, Daystar, so there are several, TV stations out there who have the budget to say, okay, if we find some great, films, we'll pay for it, right? So you have that on one hand. So as we're talking about distribution, so that kind of a deal can be one, right? That's number one. Number two, there are some VOD platforms now. VOD platforms. So what's VOD? VOD is video on demand. There are some video on demand platforms for independent filmmakers, right? And of course, as a matter of fact, there's more VOD like never before. So these VOD platforms are available now. So let me mention some types of VOD platforms that you want to consider as a filmmaker. One is the SVOD, or subscription VOD. So that's where you put your films on the platform, and then people can pay a monthly or a yearly subscription fee, right, in order to be able to access your content. So gone are the days when it's all about going to the theaters. And don't get me wrong, we're not saying don't go to the theaters, but it's not all about that anymore. We're talking about digital now. So you have some SVOD platforms that you can check out, that you can use for your content. And the thing is this, so even though we are Christian filmmakers, we are not restricted to just Christian companies, so you can still make use of certain companies that are secular, but they have the platform for you to do what you need to do. So, for example, when we talk about the SVOD, right, popular VOD platforms that are SVOD will be like Netflix, right? Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime Video. So if you can get your content there, why not get it there, right? SVOD. So if you believe you have a kind of content that people can pay for on a monthly basis or a yearly subscription fee, well, this is one way to get it out. Another way is the TVOD. That is the transactional VOD, transactional video on demand. Now, this is companies like iTunes and Vimeo on demand, right? And Voodoo, right? Sounds like voodoo, but VUDU, right? So these platforms allow audiences to purchase individual videos on demand. So if you're able to put your videos and maybe you do the marketing, then people can begin to purchase your individual videos on demand. Another VOD platform you want to think about is the AVOD, and that is the ad-supported VOD, right? So with the use of advertisements, video content is free to audiences. So, of course, when you think about YouTube or Hulu, right, or Snack Films, right, those are examples of AVOD, right, ad-supported VOD. So, now, if you do decide to take your content to these VOD platforms, remember we're talking about distribution, so this is also another way of distributing your content to those who need to see it, right? So if you choose to go this route, you may want to think about working with a film aggregator, right? A film aggregator, or you could do it yourself. Now, who is a film aggregator? A film aggregator is different from a film distributor, right? A film aggregator is a third-party service that assists independent filmmakers in getting their film distributed to VOD platforms. Audiences can purchase and view their work. So sometimes these film aggregators, they already know how to do it. Sometimes you don't want to go through, okay, let me get it to Netflix, let me get it to Hulu and stuff like that. It's a good idea, but sometimes you don't want to be bothered. You have so many things on your plate that, so it's best sometimes for some people to just go through an aggregator who has the connections, right? They have the connections, and they know the Netflix or the Hulu, and so of course there's going to be a cost for it, but they know how to get it to those platforms, right? So you submit it directly to them, and then they get you on those other platforms. So that's something to think about. Now, another thing I want to share with you has to do with streaming, right? So streaming is something also to think about. So you have Netflix there, but then Netflix have tens of Christians movies, but you have to go through a lot. You have to go through a lot of content, right? And sometimes they have all these suggestive thumbnails and, just some things that are not too Christian-like. So with that being said, you'll have some streaming platforms that are out there right now. And so you also may want to think about taking your films to these streaming platforms. So I'll share some of the names with you, and you can do your research for more, right? So the great news is that we have Christian TV streaming services, and they filter all the fluff, so that they can give Christian people a pure form of entertainment. And so you as a Christian filmmaker can get your films to them. One that is well known is PureFlix. PureFlix is home to positive entertainment, and more importantly, classics and contemporary Christian movies, right? So, there's payment involved, obviously, if you sign up for PureFlix, right, for the people who are watching. But you want to put your videos, in platforms like that, right? PureFlix. And it's very easy to navigate. They have their website, very easy to navigate. It is easy to see the most watched movies, for example, on the platforms. So all these streaming platforms that I'm going to mention to you, they have some things that are unique about them. The subscription also removes the ads. So if you subscribe to PureFlix, so then there'll be no ads for you to be looking at, right? So now I'm talking about streaming services. So we've talked about the VOD, and the various types. And then now, these streaming services, you can put your film, on their platform. You also have CrossFlix Plus, right? It's a premium platform for watching the best Christian movies. The services has contemporary Christian movies, animated films, comedy shows, and documentaries, right? So, and of course, it's subscription-based. It's a subscription-based platform, and it allows you to download movies as opposed to only streaming. Wow, look at that. So maybe you want your movies downloaded, right? So you may want to consider CrossFlix Plus. So, like I said, each one of these streaming platforms have some unique things about them. So do your research and see which one is best for you. Then another streaming platform is the Right Now Media, right? It's a diverse Christian streaming service, and like most streaming platform, it has different content options for different subscribers. So, for example, Right Now Media has preaching shows by prized preachers. So they have preaching shows, right? And the platform also has Christian commentaries on current world topics. So each one of these platforms have something unique about them, and you can just research them. Then there is Yippee. Yippee is a Christian version of Disney Channel. Yippee. The platform has tens of new shows that are fun to watch and learn. In total, the platform has more than 1,000 hours worth of content. So the most popular show on the platform, The New VeggieTale, is exclusively on Yippee. So Yippee is also subscription based, right? But they do have a free trial for new subscribers. So again, we're seeing some, streaming platforms out there that you may want to consider putting your, films. Then you also have the Dove channel, right? They have some contemporary and classic Christian content for believers. Again, subscription based, and they have a free version that has Christmas movies and children's animations. So they're out there. I'll name a few more without necessarily giving so much about them. So you have AGTV, which is the American Gospel TV, right? So these are just a list of some of the platforms, streaming technology and streaming platforms out there. You have Angel, you have Christian Channel, you have Christian Cinema, you have Christian Movie Classics. I've mentioned Crossflix already. You have Encourage TV, you have Faith Live TV, you have Gospel Films Archive, then Inspiration on Demand, and Minor Kids. So these are just some of the streaming platforms that are out there that you may want to also consider. Now, as we talk about distribution, of course, you think about over-the-top services, right? Over-the-top services, include some of the things I've said already. So Netflix, for example, is a leading over-the-top services or service. Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Hulu, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube TV, Peacock. Now, so you want to look at some of the secular platforms and to see which one have anything to offer, for your film. Which one is kind of friendly to the kind of film that you have. So just wanting to really share with us various platforms. Of course, another major platform is social media. Right, so you cannot leave social media out of this. Social media is a big platform, and you also want to think about making use of social media for distribution. Obviously, depending on if you're selling the film, you're not going to just put it on social media for people to be watching. But what I said earlier about even getting the word out and people begin to know you and getting to know about the kind of content you produce. So social media will be good, for those web series, those short films or shorts. Social media will be great, so that you begin to build some sort of followership and eventually as you release new films that those people, they follow you, so they get to know about it. Now, when I was talking about the OTT platforms, I'm talking about the over-the-top platform, and it allows you to deliver videos and live stream feeds to any internet-enabled device, right? So when we're talking about digital, of course, we're talking about internet, right? Internet-enabled devices. And so OTT allows you to deliver and monetize video content directly to viewers without any third-party platforms. So, and that's what we've talked about earlier about the VOD, right? So it's important that you begin to do your research about OTT platforms. Now, one of the things about OTT platforms, some of the things OTT platforms enables you to do includes managing your videos, right? Recording live streams in HD, distributing content through global CDNs, right? OTT allows you to monetize your videos in different ways. It offers video subscription packages, right? So as you're listening to this, you're learning some other ways that you can make money from your content. So, and then also you get to also leverage end user analytics, right? So these are some of the things that OTT provides for you. Of course, you can customize your online player through these platforms. Let me also mention, as I close this session, two more things. One, there are also film distributors out there. There's some film distributors out there. And that was why I said in the beginning, you kind of want to begin to show your work and begin to know people who is who in the industry and stuff. So eventually, as you look for film distributors, the fact that you've shown your work or, they've seen something, you're already getting a good reputation out there. It will make it easy for you to be able to find those distributors. Some of the Christian film distributors that are out there. Includes Affirm Films, to affirm something, Affirm Films, Pinnacle Peak Pictures, and you can just Google all this. Pinnacle Peak Pictures. Then you also have Big Idea Entertainment. You have Fox Faith. You have Cloud 10 Pictures. And you have 5 and 2 Pictures. So those are some of the film distributors, Christian film distributors as well, that are out there. Now, some of you may be looking for, maybe still looking for funding in some way, apart from, a financier funding your film. You may also want to try crowdfunding. Chosen did crowdfunding, and it worked really well for them. In case you haven't seen the series Chosen, you can check it out. So they did some crowdfunding. So you may also want to consider crowdfunding as well. So I've shared a number of things that just to kind of get us thinking, get us doing more research, so that we can begin to get the kind of distribution that we want. Now, let me close by saying that this last set of things. One, you need to make sure that you have a distribution plan, right? Don't just say I'm looking for distribution without a plan, right? Put a plan together, right? Like I mentioned before, savvy producers do not wait until the film is finished to figure out what to do with it. You already have a plan as to what to do with this film. And in case you don't, then please put together a distribution plan, right? So, and this is kind of like summarizing what I've been saying anyway. Know what your film is and who it's for. Know what your film is and who it is for. So don't wait until after the festival circuit to seek a deal, right? So begin to work on these things, before. And it's also important to get feedbacks from sales agents or distributors, and they can give you some good feedbacks. One of the reasons why you also want to work on distribution right in the beginning is that you don't want to have finished everything for you now to start hearing that, wow, maybe if you have included this, we would have been interested, or if you have included that, we would have been interested. So as you are producing and you are seeking out distribution at the same time, whatever feedback that you're getting, you still have a chance to be able to incorporate that into the film. So this is very important. Of course, you also want to make sure that your film is well presented, right? Very important. So you want to present your film well. All right, I believe I've shared some things to get you thinking and to just inspire you and to give you ideas on how to distribute your film. Again, I want to thank the organizers of this international film festivals, and I also want to pray that for those of you who are producing content and really inspiring people and sharing the gospel with your film and teaching and helping develop people through your film, I pray that God will continue to enlarge you and make a way for you and open doors for you and bring even help your way in the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you one more time, and enjoy the rest of the festival. Thank you.